I'm Jaimee Dorris, and you're watching Ms Congeniality TV. Have you always wanted to be a beauty queen? Or maybe you couldn't care less about that crown and just simply want to look your best. Regardless of why you are here, welcome! Over the last 12 episodes, we have traveled all over the American Southeast and gotten up close and personal with the beauty queen industry. We've learned about diet and exercise, hair and makeup, wardrobe and platforms. We've even learned to walk and talk like a queen. The beauty services were fun, and so were the weird beauty queen products. And who can forget those photo shoots? It's been a power-packed season for sure. My goal was to give you all of the information you could possibly need to get started on your beauty queen journey. And whether you want to be a beauty queen or simply want to look like one, you have come to the right place. Now it's time to bundle it all together for our finale show.
So I grew this platform. I figured out how to help other people. I healed from my own trauma, and I'm a better wife. Let me tell you, if pageants can do that, you don't need the crown.
If you have been following all of the advice from these episodes and doing the hard work, chances are you will win a crown. But any title you get is probably not going to be a long reign, like maybe a year or so, which means that you're going to be a past queen for a lot longer than you were a serving queen. But the journey doesn't end there. Let's bring back our expert queens to talk about life as a title holder and after. How are you different now than when you first started pageantry?
I think I'm probably more in tune with my fashion choices.
Really?
To be honest, yes. I learned a lot about the types of things I can wear and the types of things that aren't as flattering on my particular body type. And that takes a lot of outside resources of people saying, you know, this looks good versus this. Here, look at these two pictures of these things on yourself. And it really helped me to understand what types of clothing would be the most flattering. Now, do I always go by those rules? No. Sometimes it's more about comfort than it is about appearance. Now I know if I'm walking on stage or doing something that is of great importance or taking photos, I know what types of styles to choose, and that's very helpful.
Well, to me, I probably wouldn't have had that kind of expert advice that I got while I was a title holder without that experience of having done pageantry. So I certainly wasn't connected with the same like seamstresses that I have now and tailors where I can like specifically pick out and design an outfit and then send that drawing to a tailor and she can make that for me and send it back to me. So I think I just was connected with people that knew so much more and that kind of were those content experts because I'm never going to know everything, but it added to my knowledge base as well. I mean, wow. I certainly didn't know what looked great on stage until I had to prepare to be on stage. I didn't know what looked perfect in an interview until I had to prepare to be in an interview. So just being in those situations where you have to know the details gives you that knowledge then later in life to still know those details and to kind of run with them.
Well, I think the first thing that was going to come out of my mouth is I'm more humble, but I need to explain that because I also came from I will never be beautiful enough mentality to compete in a beauty pageant. That was how I started, but I competed in the state pageant and I won. And I was like, oh, and I only had to compete at state once and then I won. And so I went to nationals and I'm like, I won on my first try. I've got this. And then I bombed it at nationals, bombed it. So you know what I learned? That you really have to do that work. You have to do that work on yourself, your inner self. I hear pageant women all the time talk about the inner work. And I'm like, okay, it sounds really cliche at this point, but it's because it's true. And that's why we all keep saying it. And that's why we're trying to share it with everybody. You really have to do the work. I did the work. And it did take me a while. It took me a couple of years to really get there. So I grew and I grew as a person and I grew in my marriage, which I never expected a pageant to help me grow myself to the point where I was even a better wife. I didn't expect that. But then also really importantly for me, I healed from the abuse that I had gone through as a child because I was talking about it so much. And I didn't expect that to happen either. So I grew this platform. I figured out how to help other people. I healed from my own trauma and I'm a better wife. Let me tell you, if pageants can do that, you don't need the crown. I'm not giving up the crown. I'm really grateful for the crown, but you don't need it.
Well, my husband says that I look better than when I first met him. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not, but he always tells me, he does always tell me that I do. He says, even when you were in your 20s, I mean, he saw pictures of me, and I think a lot of it has to do with the confidence. I'll be honest, I think the confidence shows a lot more, but, you know, being older, I don't know, I think externally I've learned to like do my makeup differently. I've learned about hair. I've learned about just, I'm not stopping myself from dressing youthful, as you can see. I mean, I think outside, I've learned so much more, and I'm more patient with learning it as well.
I am also more aware of the struggles in the world and the ways in which we can make the world a bit of a better place through the platform work that I've done, and alongside my pageant sisters that are making such big differences in their states and their communities and even nationally. So I'm more aware of the need for different things to be spoken about and addressed.
It changed me in a way. It just made me really positive, but I don't ever talk about it. I don't say, hey, I'm Miss World. However, my friends at home did call me Miss World, and now that I've moved to a different state, no one knows me here, so it's kind of nice to be able to go places and people not judge you constantly, because no matter what, you will be judged for the rest of your life. You will always be Mrs. World, and you can't not be Mrs. World.
Next, we talk about the best parts of pageantry. It may not be what you'd expect.
The transformation, I think, is the best part.
Okay, what's the best part of pageantry?
Everything. So many things. I think, again, it's an accelerated development program. The transformation, I think, is the best part of pageants. Even seeing a title holder go from winning her state title to when she comes back to give up her title, seeing the person she's become I always loved the transformation part of movies. So like Devil Wears Prada and, you know, all these movies where they do the transformation. It's like that, but within this pageant capsule, and watching the transformation of clients that I work with from, you know, when they started to becoming these women who are empowered to be themselves and you know, learning what they're passionate about and like becoming and blossoming into this person. The same thing happened with me. I don't even remember who I was before I started competing, before I worked with my team, because they truly helped me to like kind of come into my own and come into myself. That's the best part for sure.
I'll be honest, I love having a reign as a queen, but I love passing that title on to the next person, because I know what they're in store for. I know their journey, I know their growth, and that means everything to me, to know that I'm giving someone an opportunity to grow with their platform, to grow with their confidence, and to grow with themselves as women. You know, that's my favorite part.
It's like being a mom and like
exactly
giving it to your daughter.
Exactly. That's exactly how it is. It's like being a mom and giving that to your daughter or your son. Yeah. Because I have all boys. So.
Yeah. But we have a lot of boys too.
The best part is the relationships that I've made. Some of my best friends I have made through the pageant system, and they will be my friends and sisters for life. I think that when you're going through things together and you're having those same experiences, you have that bonding during that time, and it's just like one of those things that will never be broken. It just excites my heart to know that I've got these amazing people in my life that I literally feel like I could go to Georgia and call up Mrs. Georgia and say, hey, I'm in town. Do you want to have coffee? Yes. You know, and it would be like an enthusiastic yes, because you just love these people.
You know, honestly, I think it's watching your family and friends in the audience, especially if you win and you have that crowning moment. They are so excited for you. And I want to say, because people will say, what's your favorite part? Like, what's your favorite competition part? And I'm like, well, aside from onstage questions, my favorite part of pageants is the community service. And that part's not judged, but I enjoy that a lot. But I want to say the best part is when your best friend and your husband and your kids are sitting in the audience and your dream has just been realized and they're cheering for you. That's a phenomenal moment. And I'll never forget how that felt. This last pageant was by far the most meaningful, because I had just fought so hard and worked so hard for 5 years for that crowning moment that I was crying on stage. It was super embarrassing. I told you I'm a dork, super embarrassing. But my best friend was crying and screaming, literally jumped to her feet and screaming. And my husband was proud, and my 13-year-old son was proud. And that was cool.
And after the break, we go where we haven't gone before, the dark side.
They really made me feel like I was not worth the title.
A lot of pageantry is absolutely beautiful and positive, but like most things in life, there is a downside. It is now time to warn you about the not so sunny side of the pageant world.
What is the worst part of pageantry? And be honest.
Oh, you know I'm gonna be honest. You and I have talked about this. I didn't have the greatest experience as Mrs. Florida. I had a couple of sister queens just really play head games with me. They ignored me. They really made me feel like I was not worth the title. And it really affected me when I went to nationals. And that is something that's not fun, even for someone like me who has gone through a lot in my life. You are always, you can still continue to be a victim of bullying.
So there are some interesting personalities in pageantry. They're not everywhere, but they are definitely there. People that may have been raised in pageantry or maybe have not quite attained the title that they were after, and at some point just became very calloused or jaded, jealous maybe, I don't know. But I do know that personalities that try to make your life miserable because you're having fun, that's been the hardest part for me. And I tend to just avoid people just like I would in everyday life. I pray for them. I try to be as nice as I can to them. And sometimes you just have to move past that and just have fun anyway. But you do run into that. It is very rare because, again, women in pageantry, for the most part, are very passionate about their cause. They're very kind. They love people. They love meeting new people, and they love being inspired. And so it's very rare, but that has been the hardest part of my journey.
You mean aside from working out?
No,
like and having to give up, and also giving up Twizzlers, right? Aside from that, I think the hardest part is that while it's a small portion of pageants, it's amplified in our heads, which is the drama, and it happens. And I really don't like the drama. And again, the drama only comes from 1 or 2% of the contestants. But because when they're being drama, they're so loud about it, it feels like more than 1 or 2%. And I think the hardest part for me is when somebody wins, we need to be happy and support the woman who has won and empower them and be excited for them. And that's not always the case. And look, I fully admit that I have walked out of a pageant that I haven't won, and I've been upset, and I've been hurt, and I've been frustrated, and I've had thoughts that I have had to repent for. I admit that that's happened. Okay. I've had to do it.
You're only human.
But geez, don't post it on social media. Yeah. For heaven's sakes, don't go around talking badly about a human being because you're upset that you didn't win and she did. And also, I just think, really? You're going to be mad at her because she also wanted it and she also worked hard and showed up and she accomplished her dream? I just don't understand that. So for really the worst part, even worse than giving up Twizzlers, is the drama.
I've calculated it out based on everything you've taught me, and it's about 4 hours a day and maybe about $20,000 a year to look amazing. Is it really worth all of that time, energy, and money?
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. And that's a low figure.
Oh, well, look at me, natural beauty.
Yes, you are. You're beautiful. It's maintenance. I think that if you want to have plastic surgery, do it. I think that if you want to get your eyes lifted and get your wrinkles gone, do it. Don't wait until you're 80 to do it. Do it while you're younger so that you can enjoy it. And, it's for some people and some people it's not. And some people will judge me by me saying that, but I don't really care. The alternative is to not do it. Just don't do it. Just get old. Just go ahead and Just don't work out, don't get Botox, don't get your hair done. Just don't. Just get old naturally and be happy with it. It's up to you. It's a personal choice. It's your body. Do what you want. But I'd choose maintenance. I mean, if I had more money, I'd be like, I'd be doing all kinds of stuff. You probably wouldn't even know who I was. You'd say, was it Pamela? Is that you? Yes, it's me, and I'm smiling. Can you not tell? No? I'm sad. Can you not tell? No. I'm happy. No. No expression. No, I'm kidding about all that, but I'm not kidding about the choice to either do it or don't do it.
Yeah.
And finally on Ms Congeniality, we finished this season with humor and inspiration.
We won, so technically I won a pageant.
So I have to ask you the most important question of the day. Have you ever been in a beauty pageant?
I have not.
Why not?
I don't know. I just feel like it was never my thing to do.
I would never. First of all, I'm too short. And second of all, I don't like working out. So
that's just not me. I'm more behind the scenes.
No, and I've never really wanted to.
I don't really remember much of it, but I just remember it wasn't for me.
Have you ever been a pageant queen yourself?
No. I'm always behind the scenes. Actually, I take that back. Halloween. My junior year of high school. I actually dressed up with a couple friends as toddlers and tiaras. So I made my own tutu outfit. I had the full hair, full glam. I had the sash. I had the poses down. I had it all.
What did your sash say?
I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure it said Top Supreme.
Top Supreme.
Yes, I think it said Top Supreme.
So that was the only time you were a beauty queen?
That's the only time. Yeah. We won. So technically I won a pageant.
I don't have that personality to be that bright light like you are on the stage. And that's what you are. You're this big, beautiful, bright light. And you're stunning. And you bring that to everyone when you walk into a room and it's just, it's fabulous. You're made for this world. Where I am happy to be photographing that. That's my lane. That's what I love.
Look at you.
Well, this is inside of me. And I love doing this for women, too, that come to the studio to really glam them up and show them how beautiful they are. I love doing that for women. It's my passion. And beyond that, my passion is really when they come in without any hair or makeup done, that they understand they're beautiful for just being a woman. That's important to me. Every woman needs to know that.
What would you say to a woman who's not in pageantry and she's on a quest to be her most beautiful self? How can she best achieve that?
So much of life is about learning who you are, what your message is, what makes you special, what makes you unique, who is Jaimee, who is Cassie, how can we present what we are, what we've learned, what our life's experiences are to the rest of the world. And that's, I think, what makes you beautiful, is to know yourself and to know your worth and to know what you are capable of accomplishing. I feel beautiful sometimes whenever I'm on a 15-mile hike because what I'm bringing that day is the form of beauty that I want to be, and then I can feel beautiful on stage as well. So I think it's just being beautiful, feeling beautiful in the moment. And all that to say as well, beauty can look a lot of different ways. Beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder. You can be beautiful traditionally, you can be beautiful untraditionally, you can be beautiful to someone and to a crowd of people, and you can be absolutely stunningly gorgeous and not feel beautiful when you look in the mirror. And I think I've seen that full range while I've been in the pageant industry. So I think that the most important form of beauty, especially in pageantry, is to feel beautiful on the inside and then to show that through your actions.
What advice would you give a lady who is starting pageantry right now as she's watching all of this?
Right now, my advice would be to figure out what it is in your heart. What is the change that you want to see in the world? What is the thing that you see out there and you think, man, I wish I could do something to change that? And go and do it. Go and start the process to help make those changes, to raise the funds, to speak, to bring awareness. Whatever it is for you, find that and start doing it, because I'll tell you what, You don't have to do pageantry to change the world. That's what I love so much about what pageantry has brought to me, is the realization that I don't have to have a crown to do amazing things for the community, for the state, for the country. I just have to get out there and do it. And so my advice to someone who's looking into pageantry is to figure out that cause for them that they would do even without a pageant, and really find that passion and get into it now. And then of course find a coach, find a pageant, blah, 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 all that stuff will come together. But I think that thing that's important to you, get out there and get after it.
1, 2, 3.
I was like, her hair is flying everywhere. I'm like, ah!
I cannot tease my hair to save my life.
It's like I woke up like this, like.
Okay, okay. Chicken nut.
This is going to be great. I wondered in this situation what title you were going for.
Top Supreme.
And then you're Spicy Mommy?
Most ads sold.
Tagalicious.
Is it Ms Congeniality? I should have asked.
That was more bombshell.
Oh God, okay. I have a day job.
Thank you so much for letting me in your home.
Jaimee. And I hope I was helpful. Don't write me any bad messages.
And it's just fabulous, and I love it.
This is awesome. Well, y'all, you know how it goes. All good things must come to an end. I am so thankful that you have watched this season of shows, Ms Congeniality, the making of a beauty queen. Remember to love yourself, be yourself, and let's make this world a more beautiful place. Until next time, I am Ms Congeniality.